Have you been toying with the idea of kicking up your gaming experience to the next level? Adding new and fresh ideas that your players will enjoy and definitely make memories doing so? Don't worry, I got you. I'm gonna let you know what I do at my gaming table that makes my players go, dude, I can't wait to play D&D again. Don't go anywhere. What's up, my friends? Ulysses, also known as Pastor, coming at you with another video. Today's episode of New DMs 101, I'm going to be covering some things that I use to spice up the game. Some of these things are actual tangible additions, and other things are just little styles and little tricks that I like to throw at my players that might make the game seem a little bit different in a good way, and might make them take something from it and go, I cannot wait for this game to start again. And the first piece of spice I have for you guys today, think about this. Your players are walking down a path, maybe a jungle or something, and they come across a group of kobolds. Sure, if you have a bunch of kobold minis, that might add to the experience. I've actually covered that in other videos. Having miniatures is really important to help your players immerse in the situation. But what if you, instead of using those miniatures, you use something like M&Ms or Skittles? Something that is edible? Hear me out. I know it sounds weird. So picture this. Your player goes and says, hey, I want to go and attack that kobold. And you go, sure, make an attack roll, knocks it out to part, nat 20. Kills the kobold, and then's like, all right, he's dead. So instead of you taking that miniature off the table, what if your player goes, hey, can I just eat the Skittle? It takes the representation of the character off the table, and it gives your players a fun way of interacting. Now, yes, this might not be cool for older players, but if you have younger players, believe me, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and it's gonna help bridge the gap between you and them and this overwhelming experience of playing something that requires role playing and just your imagination. Just try it out. Tell me what you think. The next thing I like to incorporate are tangible props. So if your players go into a dungeon and they come across this door, and you describe that the door has this sword on it, and the sword has these jewels and has these ribbons and has this really intricate wrapping system, and your players go, okay, cool, and they start taking notes. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, that's fine. But I've tried to actually take props and have them so that I can pass it around the table. So for example, that sword I was talking about. Let's say I go to Spirit Halloween during Halloween season and find a dagger that looks really old and medieval and awesome. I can incorporate those characteristics into the dagger that they'll find in my game. So when it's time for them to find the dagger, I can pull it out from under the table and say, this is what you find. Now, it may not seem like a lot, but if you add it into the moment, I guarantee you your players are going to appreciate it. Next thing I like to do might not be that different from what you already do. A lot of players that I've played with add music or sounds to their session. Just tweak it up a little bit. Maybe you have thought about it already, maybe not. I like to use wireless speakers that I have placed throughout the room that we're playing at. So it's not obviously out in sight. So the players won't stare at the speaker and say, oh, well, it's about to come out of there. Imagine if you're walking in the cave again. I know I always talk about the cave and the ominous and the dark. But imagine if you're walking through a cave and all of a sudden you hear bats, but you don't hear them coming from the speaker on the other side of the DM screen, or right next to you, or behind you, where it's easily accessible for you to, hit play or whatever. Imagine if you use your smartphone or your laptop with Bluetooth technology to blast these sounds and these songs away from you and to your players from different angles that they may or may not be expecting them from. I've actually had playlists queued up of just different sounds, and knowing that the encounter was coming, I would just hit play, and the sounds would come from the speakers behind my players, and they would turn around instinctively in real life, and they would wonder, where are we? And they would look at me like, why did you do this? And I'd say, is it working? Yes, we're scared right now. And the last inclusion I have for you guys today is probably my favorite. Let's say your players come across a door, and the door looks really ancient and really old, and it doesn't have a lock. So your players say, well, we need to get to the other side of this door, right? Your DM says, sure, you do. How are you gonna do that? Say one of the characters is a dwarf and they have stone cutting. So they touch the door and they say, well, this door has an ancient lock and I'm not sure how it works. What if you have an actual tangible puzzle that you can give to your players? Something fun like those puzzles that you'll get at like bookstores or at Walmart that are made from wooden blocks, and you have to form like a pyramid or a square or something of that nature. I think your players will enjoy having to work together and solve those puzzles to get across that. And instead of you saying, give me a roll, having something that your players can actually feel like they are part of it, and it's not just a character that they're playing. Or even something like a riddle. Go on the internet and get a riddle that pertains to your session and have your players try and solve it. And sure, you can have dice rolls help them with clues, where you can say, hey, give me an insight check, and you can give them one piece of the riddle, or give them a hint towards the riddle, or tell them where one piece of that wooden puzzle, for example, goes, and then let them figure it out by themselves. It's a great way for you to also take a break from the session and go get something to eat or go to the bathroom and not worry about ruining the session. Leave your players at the table trying to figure out this puzzle or this riddle, and then come back and say, hey, have you guys solved it yet? And that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you guys use in your games to kick them up to the next level. I would love to hear from you. Put them in the comments down below. As always, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys so much. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It'll help the channel a lot. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell to stay up to date with all the videos I upload. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. You guys take it easy.